Chapter 2 Alexia Dalton. The young girl caught up with the mail wagon just as it was about to set off, and, rising onto her tiptoes, passed the wagoner 2 sealed letters. "This one is for the northern settlement of the externals," she pointed to the first, "and this one is for the northeastern one." The wagoner marked the envelopes with colored signs and lightly felt them through. "Nothing forbidden, I hope. I don't want trouble with the Supremes." "Of course not. Just letters to relatives." "I know your kind. Externals." The wagoner's eyes narrowed skeptically under the brim of his hat. "Always trying to break some local rule." "I assure you, I truly value my opportunity to live in this world." "Watch yourself," the man warned, wagging a finger. "I'll remember you. If anything happens, you'll be sending letters only through mages." How terrifying! The girl shook her head theatrically. "I believe in God, and I don't deal with magic." The wagoner snorted mockingly. "Ha! We'll see how long that faith lasts. In my experience, externals quickly forget their gods once life treats them well." "Don't mix up the letters." The girl smiled casually. Making sure the envelopes were sorted for the correct destinations, she stepped back. The mail wagon rolled forward, wheels clattering against the stone road. She watched it until it turned the corner, and only then allowed herself to exhale in relief. "I just hope neither of them figures it out," she muttered. "At least there are no phones or internet here." She adjusted the strap of her travel bag, tightened her grip on a long walking stick, and instead of the road leading home, turned onto a barely visible forest path. Your westward journey begins exactly here. The wagoner's words still echoed unpleasantly in her mind. She should have been used to it by now, but she wasn't. Externals sounded almost like a verdict, as if she had chosen this place herself, as if she had ever had a choice at all. No, it wasn't entirely bad here. After all, 400 extra years of life in exchange for a phone and a TV wasn't such a terrible trait. But being practically the only one permanently forbidden from returning to the external world, even for a moment, wasn't that a little too cruel for such merciful Supremes? If the invasion of Pheanor weakened their vigilance, could she at least see her brother who remained beyond the boundary? That chance couldn't be missed. Her gaze caught several sheets of paper scattered across the forest floor. In the external world, she probably wouldn't have paid attention to it. Trash in forests wasn't unusual there. But this was Nedrion. Nothing ever appeared here without a reason. Unable to resist curiosity, she picked up the sheets. "Torn pages from a spell book." She winced inwardly. Magic was like a curse that followed her everywhere. It was precisely because of it that the Supremes had once decided she belonged here. Suddenly, startled birds burst from the branches. She turned sharply. I know you threw them somewhere here. Come on, where are they? I don't know. I'm not involved in your magical nonsense. I'm anti-grimoire. The voices appeared abruptly, as if from nowhere. Teleportation flashed through her mind. Dangerous. She quickly looked around for cover. The voices were approaching. All I needed was a targeting spell. You understand how much time it would save. She slipped off the path and hid behind tree trunks, taking another quick look at the pages. Among them were a masking spell and a targeting spell. She almost cursed but held back. There was still time to simply get rid of them. She rolled the pages and threw them toward the path. A gust of wind immediately blew them back. One sheet slapped directly into her face. You can find an external without spells anyway, one voice said confidently. Sure, if you have months to waste, and we don't, a week at most. With a targeting spell, finding an external willing to go to Pheanor for a sword is a matter of minutes. She froze, barely breathing, hidden at the roots of the trees. At that moment she even felt glad that there were no venomous crawling creatures or ticks in Nedrion. Anyway, Pheanor. Interesting. If her movements were officially justified, it would help avoid suspicion. But first, it was better not to reveal herself to strangers of this level of power. A masking spell. She looked at the page she had found and began quickly moving her fingers through the air as if she were an experienced cook assembling invisible ingredients into a dish. The voices came closer. Didn't we settle on Pheanor? An external of the third generation. Questionable candidate. I'd prefer someone pure-blooded. And where am I supposed to find one? Out of a bush? The spell sheet suddenly flared up, making the girl flinch. Silence. Then eyes. Two black, empty eye sockets stared directly at her hiding place. Who's there? She didn't move. Threads of fire rose from the ground, wrapping around her fingers. The silence stretched too long. I'll check. The warm mass in her hands changed color, becoming transparent, watery. Rustling footsteps approached. She quickly brought the mass to her face. It spread over her features and merged with her skin. A face emerged from the bushes. Black hollow eye sockets instead of eyes. Belial, it seems your pages were found, but there's a problem. The creature looked toward the path, then back at the girl. Are you injured? Do you need help? No, thank you. She stood up, leaning on her stick. I believe this is yours. She extended the hand, holding the faded pages, silently praying the stranger wouldn't bite her arm off. No! Heartbreaking scream made her flinch. A hand in a black glove snatched the pages from her. He'll burn them to ashes. Gaga,
The creature with black eye sockets laughed. My apologies, said the fanned mouth on the green face. The girl could barely tear her gaze away from the fans to look into the creature's unnaturally large eyes. They reflected the glowing image of her own head. Well, at least the spell worked properly. The beings exchanged glances. Maybe it would be easier if we step onto the path? She nodded. My name is Belial. The green-fanned creature introduced itself. I am... He's a demon, the other quickly interrupted. The Supreme One, in fact. And I'm Anti-Grimoire. The girl managed to catch the displeased look the green creature shot at its friend. Interesting. And what does that mean? She couldn't help but ask. I am his guardian. The one who called himself the Anti-Grimoire turned to her, casually poking a finger at his own chest. The girl muttered, parting the bushes ahead of her. This guy couldn't have missed the point of her question, which meant he had dodged it on purpose. A demon and a guardian. Of course, everything suddenly became incredibly clear. It remained only to understand what the inhabitants of Nedrion called demons, and what it truly meant to be the supreme one among them. Strange how you managed to coexist, she snorted, recalling the earlier scene in the forest. We can't exist without each other, Belial continued. We are one whole, good and evil. So you are evil, I take it? The girl asked, stepping onto the path behind the creatures. Now she could notice even more oddities in their appearance. One detail stood out immediately. Anti-Grimoire was wearing external rolled clothes, jeans and a t-shirt, whereas the other, Belial, wore a black robe that showed nothing but a green face and gloved hands. Anti-Grimoire snorted. He's not evil, and I'm not good. There is no difference between the two of us. Well, anyway, enough about us. What's your name? The creature decided to quickly drop the formalities. Alexia? Dalton, the girl replied reluctantly. The creatures exchanged glances. Dalton, Anti-Grimoire repeated. That's your rank? Yes. Then you're not a mage. Correct, I'm an external. An external. Belial narrowed his eye sockets. The glow of the mask hid the girl's face, making it impossible to read her expression. Why would I lie? Alexia shrugged. Do you know where these pages came from? The demon asked seriously. No, I just found them on the way. Honestly, these are pages from the grimoire. From the demonic book? Alexia asked to clarify what kind of trouble she had got her ass into this time. Well, in external terms, yes. Only this... Belial seemed to hesitate briefly, then continued. Supreme demons and mages can use it, and even then, not all of them. Belial. Anti-Grimoire drawled suspiciously, placing his hands on his hips. Don't tell me you activated the surge before I threw the pages away. Heh. Belial's wide grin revealed long fangs. I quickly found someone who can. Go fetch a sword. Alexia cut in without hesitation. Eavesdropping. Belial grinned widely. I approve. See, He shot a look at his companion.
"I told you we'd find someone." Then he looked back at the girl.
"Well, that makes it even easier.
"We want to offer you a place in our order." He stepped forward and offered a long, shining crystal. "And who exactly are you?"
Belial smiled. "The guardians of peace."